Mm. All right, good evening, everybody. This is Rainmaker Presents Success Never Sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. Give you a second to get on. It is a Sunday edition early. Virginia, what's happening, Virginia? Jay So, Todd Zimmerman. Welcome, Jay and Todd. Cliff, how's it going, sir? Kicking back on this Sunday, having a little kettle corn, organic kettle corn. Get it, organic kettle corn. Had an amazing, busy weekend. Johnny Morris, Tim Goodwin, Jay Sir. Good evening, Jay Sir. Had an amazing weekend. As you saw some of the posts yesterday, morning classes at our Millbrae location from 8:30 to 1:30, followed by a birthday party from 2 to 4, followed by a parents' night out, 5 to 9. Two different crews. One worked the morning through the birthday party. Second crew came in and did the parents' night out. San Francisco, they rock classes also from 8 a.m. until 2 o'clock, mixed in with privates, followed by a black belt workshop from 3 to 5. Very busy as well. Today they had Sunday classes in San Francisco as well as birthday parties. Putting it down. We're open 7 days a week in San Francisco, 6 days a week in Millbrae, and that's what it takes. You know, people need the convenience of scheduling. So if you're not offering classes 7 days a week, you're really hurting yourself with a lot of demographics, especially when it comes to kickboxing. Birthday parties tend to like to book on Sundays. Again, you need to just develop a team to do that. This Sunday, ran some errands for my wife, grabbed the birthday cake, picked up some things called Starbreads, and we had a great birthday party for my kids at our pool. So, again, I wasn't there. When people have the mentality, oh, you work 7 days a week, it's not like that. Say Shindo Kai. I just want to wish the best for your sister, sir. I believe I saw your post. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But if I am right, prayers to you and your family on that and speedy recovery. Hey, Don, what's happening, sir? Peter Chan, Nam, K1, Dolores. Yeah, Jay, we have Sunday classes, and we're pretty soon we're going to have them in Millbrae as well. We're expanding that. You know, Millbrae's been stuck at about 400. It fluctuates. It goes. We were stuck at 350. Then we broke 400 over the summer. We're back down to 370 after all the summer specials leave. So I know what it's going to take. It's going to take everybody on the team to step it up. We have to expand our schedule. We have to add Sunday classes. I think we're going to need to double up that activity room and break those tables and chairs and do rollout mats so we can offer some classes simultaneously during prime hours. We're going to put a curtain down the middle of the big floor so we have 3 smaller classrooms. I think that's going to make a big difference. Pedro, Chris, Attain, sir, how are you? Matame Mbao. I always want to get that right, sir. I can't wait to work with you, sir, whenever you're ready to do that, okay? I still remember our time together in Florida, and it was very special to hang out with you on that pier and just talk to you, you know? No lights, no camera, no action, just you and me hanging out. This was really good stuff, and I believe we can do some amazing work together. Chris Cantwell, what's happening, sir? So yeah, Jay, we do. You know, offering classes 7 days a week in San Francisco is huge to the reasons why it grosses over $1 million a year. Millbrae's on the cusp. We'll do 850, 900 this year. I believe by the end of year 3, we'll be up to $1 million, and that is our goal. That is our goal. And I think it's very important is why you create budgets, why you create projections. You know what you want to do in a business, and that way you have something to work towards. Case in point, let's say hypothetically your student value is $100. This guy comes here and says, I want a $1,000 raise. Great. Let's get 10 more students, keep it there for 3 months, and I'll pay that $1,000 to you, right? So you got a student value equated to somebody's raise or where you want to take somebody. See, what's different about that? Is you're not saying this is a bonus. No, I'm saying if you get us there, you get those extra 10 students, you keep it there for 3 months, guess what? That money's yours. And it's never going to go away. It's not like you got to work for that bonus each and every month. Get us there, keep it there for 3 months, and that money will go in your pocket. Cool? Jay, our Sunday classes, attendance big, they're very big. Our Sunday classes are packed in San Francisco. Birthday parties. Today we did 2 birthday parties in Millbrae. You know, I wasn't even there, but they did 2 birthday parties in Millbrae. We are busy. We're busy on Sundays, and it's a very big day for us. Kim, good evening, Kim. Eric, Mr. Einstein, Steven, sir. I had a chance to sit in on Stephen's Facebook earlier. I'm very excited about his new Facebook course to educate all of us on how to properly put together ads, how to make our different custom lists, how to post, how to manage our page. I think it's going to be amazing, but I'll be able to tell you that when I get the opportunity to review it. He's asking me to review the whole course. I'll review it from front to back through the eyes of us, the martial arts school owner, and be able to give him some great feedback. And that's what I think is incredible about it. Not that we got this secret stuff going on in the lab, and we're ready to drop some bombs, all of that. There's none of that stuff. Hey, I got a product. I really want to help the industry. It's going to serve you. I need some people to review it, make sure it's right. It's prudent. Any great movie company, before they release a great movie, they'll let their demographic that it's catering to watch it, and they'll go back and make re-edits based upon feedback. That is smart. That's prudent. So when Stephen approached me on that this morning, I thought it was very cool. Very cool. So I'm going to review the product thoroughly, the whole course, give Stephen some feedback, as well as highlight and spotlight the really cool things. And I'll be able to give everybody my opinion. It's something you're going to need to invest in. It's not a short-term thing. It's not thinking about ROI up front. It's really about educating yourself, because I feel that sometimes that way, don't you? That you run a Facebook ad and it's kind of a Hail Mary pass, hoping to get 10 new students, and it flops. And you run some other ad and it takes off like wildfire. But to ignore that over 2 billion users are using Facebook is just insane. Insane. To ignore that factor, it's something we really need to address. We really need to embrace it and make that part of our marketing. But to be truly educated on it, and it's such a changing technology, is very important. It's very easy to blow a lot of money on Facebook ads and get discouraged and not see the results, or worse, farm it out to somebody, and they don't get you the results. I think what Stephen's really trying to do here, which I think is, again, in line with my passion and purpose and vision, is he's going to empower us. And if the course can do that, and again, I'll let you know once I reviewed it, then we're all going to be better off for it. We are no longer at the mercy of simple marketers who are telling us, this is what you have to do. I'm the expert, you're not. Pay me the money and I'll make it happen. No way. You have that opportunity to take control of your marketing. And that's very important. I am a hands-on person. I enjoy learning those things. It's important to me. I don't want to be at the mercy of anybody, whether that's a janitor, whether that's a bookkeeper, an accountant, an instructor. That is me. I don't want to be at anybody's mercy. So if I can educate myself on every aspect of my business, including Facebook ads, then I allow myself that freedom to say, hey, you might be worth all that in a bag of potato chips, but you are replaceable. And I can replace you, because worst case scenario, I step up and do the work myself. You feel me? So it's not an ego thing. I think it's a very strategically, it's a very smart move. If you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, if you don't know how to do everything in your business and you're totally dependent upon somebody, then guess what? They got you by the cojones, okay? So that's just my feeling about that. And this course, I believe, is going to offer us that opportunity. All right? Who else is here tonight? K1, what's happening, sir? Lorenzo. Let me see who else is here. All right, so here we are. This is our Sunday night little early edition. We're here at 8:37, and this is Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software presents Success Never Sleeps, hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. Type in your questions. That's what this is all about. We are a collective. We are a tribe. We are a group of critical thinkers. Thought leaders is how I would like to call it. People that are thinking, not trying to fall in line like sheep, not of the herd mentality, but people that are thinking a year ahead of now, a year ahead from now. Did I say that right? Come on, give me some love. I got the popcorn. I hope you do too. What we got going on tonight? So Jay, getting back to those Sunday classes while we're waiting on questions. Here's the San Francisco schedule. 9 a.m. to 10, kickboxing. And then upstairs at 10 a.m., they have an excellent kids class, which is our preschool program. 10 a.m. downstairs, they have a youth karate beginning program going on. After that, 45 minutes later, they're going to have a level 1, which is year 1 students downstairs. Upstairs is level 2. And then right after that, they take a quick break. and then they launch into birthday parties, 1 a day, sometimes 2 in the afternoon. But it's a busy day for us, sir. It's become one of our busiest days. And I know people think that's insane, especially if you're in a place like Schuyler is, where it's heavily populated with church-going people. I get that. We're in San Francisco. It's very, very different. And we might find when we do it in Millbrae, nobody's going to come to Sunday classes. But we're going to run it up the flagpole, and we're going to see what happens. Kalani, good evening, Kalani Foster. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, you critical thinkers, it's opened up for questions. Type your questions in. Share with me where you're at, what you need. Cameron, you mentioned your schools have classes 6 to 7 days a week. Can enrolled students come that often? No, they cannot. And do you recommend them to come as much as possible? No. It's best that you either have them on twice a week, and we also have a once a week program. Twice a week, and I say that so you can grow your student count. For example, we get roughly 200 people on Monday and Wednesday, right? Between 2 floors, 3 floors, 5 classes, different things. So we got 200 people on Monday and Wednesday. They're coming twice a week. Another set of 200 people on Tuesday and Thursday. Now we're at 400. Then we have once a week people coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That makes up the other 200, and that's how we get 600 in San Francisco. Now imagine if we let people come whenever they want and as often as they wanted. Well, one class you might have 3 people. Next class, everyone's going to show up because it's convenient that day, and you're going to have a class that's overcrowded. You want people signed up to Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. Get them set in a class time. Offer a makeup class time to overservice them, but do not allow them to just simply show up because that causes overcrowding. I know everybody will agree with me. I see all the hearts coming across there because you've all been there. We've all done that. You can't grow your school that way. That's how we were able to manage 400, 450, and 2,200 square feet because our scheduling was so tight, that they had to come their specific days. Cool? Fernando, welcome, Fernando. Jennifer, Nonoy, David. Yeah, and that's just how you project your real estate, right? Your student value, how many in a class, how many classes do you do a day, and then you grow on based upon that. Does that make sense? So let me try that again. 5 classes a day, hypothetically, $100, right? 20 students in a class, that's $200, right? That's $200, right? Because we charge 20 kids in a class. No, let me back that up. Well, let's say yours is $100, so we'll stay with $100. Student value is $100 a month, right? They come to 8 classes because they're coming Monday, Wednesday, Monday. So that's roughly $10 a class. I got 20 kids in a class. 20 times 10 is 200. Times 5 classes, that's $1,000, right? So $1,000 on a Monday, 1,000 on a Wednesday, okay? Now we're at 2,000. I do the same thing on Tuesday and Thursday. Well, now we're at 4,000. Do the same thing on Friday and Saturday. Well, now we're at 6,000 a week. 6,000 a week times an average, 4 weeks? That's 24K. And the band plan on, if you know your numbers like that, you're able to really plan where they're going to go and how you're going to utilize that space. Cool? Danny Perry, welcome, sir. Well, ideally, K1, we want them on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Tuesday or Thursday. But sometimes we have a kid that's got to do a Wednesday, Saturday. What, my love? Yeah, when I'm done, when Papa's done. Okay? Sonny, Morgan, what's happening? I'm glad you're okay out there in Florida. Sonny, Derek. Lots of people coming aboard. Yes, you definitely want them assigned to a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, or Thursday. We will take a handful that will do Wednesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Sunday. That's okay as well, because a twice-a-week student in our school is worth $199. And, of course, the more they do the martial arts, the better off they're going to get, the more they're going to see the success and the results. We do have our once-a-week program, which is huge. We have a huge once-a-week program because we find a little bit of something's better than a whole lot of nothing. The art of that was designing a curriculum that worked for once a week or twice a week, under that situation. So here's how that rolls. If I'm coming twice a week, my first day is going to be curriculum. My second day will be sparring. If I'm a once-a-week student, I do curriculum. The following week, I come into class, I do curriculum for 15 minutes, I spar for the rest of the class. So we had to design a curriculum that worked for both. Does everybody follow me? If I'm coming twice a week at 45 minutes a class, how much curriculum do I get in 2 weeks? 90 minutes. If I'm a once-a-week student and I'm coming first week, I get 45 minutes of curriculum. The second week, I'm getting 15 minutes of curriculum with the rest of the time sparring. What is that? 60 minutes, right? So I got a 90-minute and a 60-minute. We just had to find curriculum that was able to work with both. So you have 90 minutes for the AB day, 60 minutes for the once a week. What curriculum can you design to work for both? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But it's really been an art. I know a lot of people in our industry are against once a week. That's not enough martial arts training. There's no way they can become proficient. Well, they can. They can become proficient if you offer things like a Saturday 8 a.m. makeup class, practice class, if you offer a makeup stripe workshop at the end of the month, if they supplement it with paid privates, all those different things. And if they're practicing at home with really, really great curriculum videos that you have professionally done. So we supplement those in many different ways. Cool? Micah, what's happened to Micah, sir? Scott, Jay, once a week we charge $159. Twice a week we charge $199. We do not have a 3-day-a-week program, sir. What we do, Jay, is offer to overservice people, overvalue them with that 8 a.m. practice class, with the monthly makeup stripe workshop. So we have those two things in place to help supplement. And of course, we'll offer a comp private if we think we need to be accountable on someone that's not progressing, or people can buy private lessons as well. So we find those other variables that we throw into the mix help that student that comes once a week, or that twice a week student that's not practicing and not making all his classes. Next question, what do you got? Ray, good evening, Ray Lucas. Having conversations with people in the industry and knowing that I'm being labeled as a disruptor, I welcome that. You know why? Because why do it the same old way? You're creative, you're innovative, you're an architect. Why would you not want to come into an industry and separate yourself from anybody else? Why wouldn't you want to do that? You are unique. You have your own story to tell. Become disruptors. Become part of this collective of critical thinkers and get out there and disrupt things, even within your own school. Stop doing it the same old way. If you do it the same old way, you get the same old results. If you want something more for your life, then change it up, right? You got to change it up and change it up. That's very important, as long as it's what? Rooted in your values. Cool? David, what do you typically spend monthly on marketing? About $2K for doing 2 locations. Jennifer, were you able to transition from owning and operating one school to operating multiple schools? We only own 2 schools. If you want to call that multiple, you can. We own 2 locations. I'm pretty much 100% free from the first location. I choose to keep a handful of standing privates. And I go there every other week on a Tuesday. I teach 4 or 5 privates. Then I train my black belts. And that's just because I think it's important to have some presence versus 0 presence. Millbrae, I'm probably there about 30% of the time. And I end up hanging out because I like being in the school. But technically, I would say I need to be in Millbrae 30% of the time that it operates right now, because we're not quite at that point. I can completely walk away. But that's why our numbers are where they are in 2.5 years, close to 400 students, going to gross $900,000 this year. Because I didn't just simply throw people in there and walk away. I want to train the team. I want to nurture the team. I want to make sure they're doing that. And if I live, 5 minutes from the school, how easy is that? So Millbrae is a little different animal. And able to transition, well, it's a whole huge process. And one of the things I'll get to talk about more at It's Time Live Encore in November is that. See, the big thing, Jennifer, is going from being a martial artist, and I see a lot of this. There's a lot of guys that are martial artists that are masquerading as martial arts instructors, and they have no idea how to teach. 0. And I say that not out of disrespect, because it's a fact. Then on the next level, you got guys that are great martial arts instructors that are masquerading as small business owners, right? They own a martial arts school. Again, there's a huge gap there. And then lastly, you got small business owners that are trying to behave like an entrepreneur. So they'll take off for a month or so and leave a bunch of teenagers running their school and wonder why their numbers are down. We can't do that. We can't do that. So there is a process going from being a martial arts instructor, from a martial artist to a martial arts instructor, Jennifer, to being a small business owner, a successful small business owner, and then an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of work in there for that to happen. So hypothetically, I'm a martial artist. How do I become a martial arts instructor? You're a black belt now. Go teach a class. No. You should take some formal training. I like Dave Kovar's Instructors Boot Camp. I offer a free thing out there called Instructors Training Experience Year 1. Go to onemartialarts.com, look under news, look under members, look under news, and you can download it there. You need to train people to teach. Just because they're a great martial artist doesn't mean they know how to teach. Now, I'm a great martial arts instructor. I need to go out there. I should take courses on small business. I should understand the fundamentals of bookkeeping. I should understand how an accountant talks. I should understand marketing via Facebook, direct mail, writing copy, website design, print, everything. I can do a great flyer. I'm working on my own website with a great designer with input from Steven. I can do a Facebook ad. I can do all those things. Again, as I shared at the top of this, it's very important to me, Jennifer. I am not at the mercy of anybody in my business. I don't want to be held for ransom. And that's not a fear-based thing, because I do everything I can to take great care of my team, pay them well, do all the different things. But people leave. That's just the way life is. And if they leave and you don't have a replacement because it's on a short notice, you got to step up and you got to perform or your business tanks. And then lastly, moving from a successful small business owner, and I say successful, living with that mindset that there's nothing above me and there's nothing below me. If my school needs to be swept, I sweep it. If somebody's sick and someone needs to teach a class, I teach it. I have no challenges with any of that. So you must live from the humble attitude. There's nothing above you. There's nothing below you. That's what creates success. What happens is we taste a little success. We start making a little bit of money. So then we want to go bling, bling, bling. We step out of the box and we end up hurting ourselves. Because the fundamentals, you read The Millionaire Next Door, he's very conservative. He spends conservatively, right? He saves money for retirement. He owns his home. He has no debt. That should be your goal. That should be your goal. Now, to jump into entrepreneurship, you're right, Jennifer, that transitioning. What do I need to do next? Well, I need to discover what it's going to take to get me off that mat, writing great systems for a team to do it better than me. That's it. Write those systems for a team to do it better than you. Then write the systems to train the team. Then constantly train that team and train that team and train that team while you're always planting seeds looking for those rock stars to replace you. I am always looking for my second. Always looking for my second. And that second is the person to replace me. Because once I can replace me in every aspect of my business, and I outsource everything. I outsource my janitorial. I outsource my bookkeeping. I outsource my accounting. I outsource just about everything. As much as I can. As much as I can. I will outsource my lawyer. I outsource things to a lawyer. So you want to outsource as much as you can, right? That your budget allows. And so now I'm in the position of entrepreneurship where now I move into multiple revenue streams. I invest in the stock market quite heavily. I keep a real estate portfolio. I have my own 401k for my wife and I. Those different things all come into play. I have several other businesses, my consulting business, as we're doing right now, and my events, and I travel, speaking. I also have One Merit badges, which is servicing 400 schools worldwide with our life skills education system. So there, and I have 2 books out right now, which are selling well at Amazon. So then you create those other multiple revenue streams, which are passive. I do nothing. The book's done. It's all passive income now, right? So things like that. I do these great e-products that sit online from all the different seminars I do. People buy those, and once I've done the work, then they just sell. Much like when I was a recording artist. I recorded the album, did all that hard work, then it goes out there and sells and makes you money with very little work. You feel me? But each one has a step, Jennifer. Each one has a step, and we've got to respect that process. You can't plant a seed and say, okay, now I want fruit. No, you plant a seed, it starts to grow, you water, you fertilize, you prune it, until it gets to the point where it bears fruit. You can't start out as an entrepreneur. That's just not the way it goes. I've never seen it that way. So there is a process through that. K1's back on. So if they come twice a week, the Saturday class is designed only for makeups and privates? No. Saturday's a full schedule, K1, because remember, we got once a week students. And we also have students that are doing Wednesday, Saturday. So no way. Is the 2K mainly Facebook? Facebook is predominantly my number one way of marketing now. But remember, our parents' night outs are free. Every time we send a cotton candy machine out to an event, we do that for free, and I'm paying staffing and supplies. So we're doing a lot of community work that I call brand awareness, but in essence is marketing. Did anybody see what we did at the Art and Wine Festival? Right outside our door, David, we had roughly, I don't know how many, 50,000 people, through the whole Art and Wine Festival. Right outside our door was kids' rides. Our school was totally open from 10 to 5, dodgeball, zombie tag, arts and crafts, fully air conditioned. It was like 100 something degrees that day. We gave out 2,200 bottles of water in 2 days. We gave out 1,800 cotton candies, close to the same number in balloons. We gave out 4 $100 Visa gift cards. We gave out 2 premium birthday parties. And all that is part of my marketing. So when we talk about $2,000 a month in marketing, there's other variables that go into that. Cool? How often do we train our team? Every Tuesday at 7:30 from 7:30 to 9. It's mandatory. They're paid to be there, and it's part of their regularly scheduled hours. And then I'm big on mini power meetings. I meet with the guy who runs San Francisco for a couple hours on Wednesday in mentoring sessions. I do 5-minute power meetings all the time for training. We train on the job, which we're very passionate about. We'll work together on that. I think real-time execution is important, and you can train, but practical application is what we find more valuable. So that on-the-job training that they used to sell in late-night infomercials has its place with us. But we train consistently on Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. Hey, what's up, Master Donald? Kelly, what's up, sir? Jennifer, definitely agree with that. 450 at one location, 150 at our second. Good. Yes, I agree completely about teaching. Constant and never-ending improvement. Right on. 450 and 150 is good numbers. I'm challenged when I hear somebody say, I have 2 schools and each one has 100. I don't think you should open that second school. I like those numbers, Jennifer. Very powerful. 450 and 150. So how long has the second one been open? Yeah, nothing above, nothing below. Lead by example leadership, Jennifer, because then, like the other day, I came in and about 4 something, I looked at one bathroom, it was dirty. I wiped it down. I walked through the activity room and said, hey, team, I took care of the first bathroom. Can someone get the second one? You could tell they went, oh, professor caught us. And it's lead by example. Always lead by example. Shuto, Faith, what's happening? Alicia, what's happening, Alicia? Welcome. Next question. This is Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software present Success Never Sleeps. You're hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. Sunday edition. We never come on at a certain time. Good. Second location, it's been open 2 years. So why do you think you're at 150 members in only 2 years? 2 years. Need to take a breath here. I can jam. I'm just a How long did it take you to get to 450 at the first location? And then tell me why you're only at 150 at the second location. Okay, good. Primarily because there was lack of involvement in the first year. Who, by you in the first year? Stephen pipes in there. Stephen pipes in there. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you here. Why not? Jennifer, do you use Stephen's websites? Yeah, it's turning into the Jennifer interview. Okay, Jennifer, how to switch up management styles. Okay. Yes, I don't think I was hands-on enough with the manager. Good for you. Good for you. And I learned that too. So K1's question kind of serves here. When do you feel, or what pushed you to expand to your second location? Was it just no more room to grow in the first one, or was it always a goal for multiple locations? Honestly, K1, the first location makes $1 million a year. I'm at about a 40% net, so I was bringing home 350 at times, I would say. The low end was 300, and we're doing quite well. I mean, my wife and I are pretty simple folks. We don't live beyond our means, and I'm very passionate about that. Because look how many great entertainers, great sports figures go bankrupt. Because if you spend more than you make, it doesn't matter. If I have $100, I spend 50, I got 50 in the bank. I make $1 million, I spend 2, I'm $1 million in debt. So, be mindful of that process, okay? So K1's asking, when did we, it was a multiple of things. First, we were very deep on the bench in San Francisco. 2, I had a young man that wanted to run his own location and get up to a higher wage. And I saw that opportunity there. Third, minimum wage in San Francisco will be $15. $15 by next July. So we had all those wages coming in. So I saw with the first location, I'm not going to give up my piece of the pie. No way. But I wanted to teach less and not be there. So I still was making the same amount of money, but I didn't have to be there. And that was the cool thing about that. So out of the need to give my team opportunity, show up the minimum wage, and pay my people better, we opened Millbrae. And Millbrae was very well thought out. We'd been looking at a location for 2-3 years. It used to be a little gym. My wife and I would say to her, and if we had this place, what we could do, we knew living in the community, we could make it grow bigger, better, and faster. Having children in the school system with the PTA, the PTO, the Millbrae Educational Foundation, we could get on all those things. So it was a no-brainer, and it is a prime location. Anybody who's been there, I'm big on location, and that relevancy. We have a 24-hour fitness, a Subway, 2 Starbucks, an Office Depot, a Trader Joe's, Baskin Robbins. We're in the mix, deep, very deep, very deep. So I knew it wouldn't be a loss, but I think the motivation was pure, the motivation was right, and we're making headway to get there. I've raised the guy in San Francisco this year. He got a $25,000 raise. We're doing everything we can to shore that up while still paying down the debt from the build out for Millbrae. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. Good. So Jennifer, that's good learning, right? Yes, I just started. I switched over and loved it. Good. I'm glad you're happy with Stephen's website. 450 students ballooned to 600, then lost some key team members. Rebuilding process has been difficult. Replacing team members has always been hard. Yeah, that's a lot of students to lose, 150. So some of those key members, what that would be an indication, not knowing everything, Jennifer, is that we have to constantly keep building that bench strength. And I'll do that during the summer. I'll have 3 instructors on duty, and there'll be 5 excellent kids. I can't cut their hours during the summer. They need that money. And if you do things like that, then guess what? Your team's going to leave. So when you start losing key people, I would look at my organization strategy. Are you paying them well enough? Do they see a future with your business? All those different variables, because you want to create a company that people want to work for. And if your key people are leaving, guess what? The people that are on the fence, the part-timers who could take it or leave it, guess what? They could probably leave a lot easier. So that question, key members left, for whatever the reason, if I can build a company that people want to work for, they'll deal with the challenges that go along with that company a lot better because they know the reward is great. I hope that makes sense. Malou, what you doing here, Malou? David Rosenberg, do you try to cross-pollinate with like businesses near you? Cross-pollinate? I've never heard that, David. When you find a great location you love, how do you patiently sit to make sure without worrying it gets snagged or from someone else? We watched it, and it's so funny because when the tenant moved out of the location we're in Millbrae, we lost it to a bank. We bid on it. They gave it to a bank, and I was bummed out, really bummed out because we really wanted that location. And then a month went by, and boom, we saw the lease sign pop back up. And we went, whoa. What happened was the bank decided it was too big for them, and they moved a couple of doors down. We ended up getting it, always right. Because I really believe when you're doing the right things, the things that are meant to be will happen. And we really saw this location. I visualized it, all the elements. It's a corner lot. I like that mentality. I see that a lot with Starbucks. Corner in the mall, corner. Corner lots are powerful. So it was meant to be. It was really meant to be. And so that's why we got it. Bill, David Warner. So David, I want to answer your question. How do you cross-pollinate with like businesses near you? I assume that's B2B business. We do different things when we frequent them a lot, especially in Millbrae. We frequent these businesses. So when we walk in with a flyer to hang up for day camp or things like that, it's a no-brainer. If we need food catered in, like our dad and me party, we'll get sliders. We go down to the hamburger place and we order sliders, and he lets us keep a rack card in there, a little brochure holder with rack cards. So it's give and take. It's give and take. We're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, which I think is powerful as well. You want to be involved. And if you're involved, you create these relationships. Remember, it's about building trust. And as you build trust and you help one another, they're more receptive to that. So that's some of it. You're welcome, Jennifer. And I'd love to talk anytime. You seem like you're on the right track. I still think 450 and 150 is still pretty good. It's pretty good. That's still a total of 600 students. But as you can see, you going into the second location makes a huge impact. So again, that would be another indication to me that you need to always look for your second Jennifer. Look for the person to replace you, then write all the systems that you do so that you can train somebody to do it better than you. Cool? Jacob, what's up, sir? Hyper's in the house. And to wrap up that question, K1, I can't worry. There's no sense of worry. If you don't get a certain location you want, it means something better is coming along. And again, that's the mindset of positive thinking. That's just the way my head works. What's happening, Jacob? Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. And, it really does. Every relationship is based upon trust, and trust takes time. And if you simply walk into any business and they don't know who you are and you want to hang a flyer, it's like, dude, this is my window space. This is valuable real estate. You simply want me to hang something up in there? Wow. Now, if it's a breast cancer awareness fundraiser put on by the local fire department, rock and roll. You get my vote 24/7. But if it's B2B and you just walk in and demand that or expect that because you're a business in the neighborhood and they should comply, I don't think so. You better frequent my business. You better eat there. You better buy stuff from me before you ever walk in my door and approach me with something like that. You feel me? I share that with you, Stephen. Things happen for a reason. I always think this way. It is. I mean, I truly believe that. And to be able to embrace that, it allows you to stay a little more even keel. So you're not getting all bummed out when you don't get your way, and you're not over-related when things happen great for you. Staying very balanced through all the craziness of life, ups and downs, is really crucial to being able to keep moving forward and achieving your goal and keep moving forward in life to become a better version of you, right? Even through the trials and tribulations. You're right, David. Things happen for a reason, although we don't always know why until later. That until later thing is sometimes baffling, but when I get through the other side of the storm and everything's beautiful and you look back and go, oh, that's what I was supposed to learn there. I can only get it now because I'm in a different headspace. Absolutely. Next question. A lot of new people aboard tonight. If you're here for the first time, please type in the name of your school and where you're tuning in from. And for the new people coming aboard, this is Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. Presents Success Never Sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. They're still coming. Keep coming and coming. Share those questions, please. Seigler Karate Center, Augusta, Georgia. Wow, that's cool. Great to have you aboard, Jennifer. Great for input, great questions. We love it. This is a tribe. We are a collective of critical thinkers, thought leaders. We don't fall in line. We don't simply follow the herd mentality. We develop our own why. We understand our values. We define them clearly in our purpose statement. Then we develop a team to support that and an action plan, and we execute. And it's really about the why. I want to know why I'm coming to your school versus Joe Karate down the street. And if you're seeing the same thing with some template-driven stock photo ad, I can't differentiate you from anybody. And if that's the case, then my buying decision is based upon who's closer to me and who's cheaper. Two reasons why I don't want to walk that path. So I do spend a lot of time developing my why, my brand. No stock photos. I write all the content, and it's very important to me. To me, it is. It's my brand. Right? It's my brand. And you talk to Jacob, you talk to Roland Osborne, who has another great brand, the team over there at Hyper, same thing. Now, I could never see them farming things out blindly. You see Roland with a sketchbook all the time. Jacob's the photographer. I mean, they're very clear. They work as a team, but they understand their why very clearly, and they work to achieve that in every element, be it a T-shirt, be it a picture, be it a program, a video, a commercial spot. I had the blessing of witnessing some of that when I was down there and I did the Hyper Fight Club with them and I was in the commercial. It's powerful, man. That brand is powerful. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from them. And I still do to this day. I also got to work with Roland on Millennium Training. We tag team on these webinars for like a 2-year period. And the learning I got from that, and I got paid. And what a lucky guy. The learning I got from Roland is phenomenal. 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 So if you get a chance, check out Hyper as well. Looking back, was there a point where you had a hard time letting go to delegate a task or looking for your second? I found it hard for me to let go of certain aspects of control of things because I know I can handle them. Well, for me, it was a need. I think I've shared this story passionately. I had hooked up with the group Top Kick, and they flew out here. We were speaking together at a convention. So the head guy, Kevin Cassidy Tule, flew out here to see what I did, because 75% of our revenue is traditional martial arts, and then 75% of their revenue is pretty much after school and camps. So they flew out here, checked us out, and I was teaching, of course, when they walked through the door. At that time, I was doing 50, 60 hours, and 40 of it was teaching. And then they flew me back there to train their team on how to teach better, right? And I remember walking into that school with two good buddy of mine at 7:30 in the morning, and he says, I haven't been here for 3 months. And I was shocked. I was appalled. I said, what do you mean? It's sacrilegious for martial arts instructors. What do you mean you're not teaching? You haven't been here. And he says, well, let me ask you a question. If you got sick or hurt, how long would it be before your school closed? And I figured maybe a year. I hadn't really thought about that. If I really thought about it, probably about a year. Probably about a year, because I was personality driven. It was all on me. So it was so easy. Came on, I had a wife. Our son was just born. We had a mortgage. We have all these things that I got to make sure my business is taken care of. So knock on wood, if anything happened to me, they would be okay. They would be okay. So I sat about writing those systems to replace me right away. And when I saw the light of day, I got off that mat. They replaced me. And I've never looked back. I've never looked back to this day, and I'll continue to function in that way. But I love to teach. I love being on the mat, and I have the freedom to teach when I want to teach versus having no freedom because I have to teach. Cool? Titus, welcome, Titus. It's a tag team, right? Husband and wife team. Titus and Jennifer, welcome. Cool, I'm honored to have you guys here. Jay So, any book to recommend? Well, I've got a collective. My reading is a lot of audio. I mean, I'm always reading podcasts, different things like that. Number one, everybody should read E-Myth. Please read E-Myth by Michael Gerber. You need to move into a systems-driven business, and he'll teach you everything you need to do. The challenge he talks about, that most of us are technicians, which are martial arts instructors. We never will move to being managers or entrepreneurs, any of those things. Please read E-Myth. Another one I'd highly recommend you read, especially it talks a lot about culture, is Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. A must read. Another one is Good to Great by Jim Collins. Another must read, because if you understand how to create a values-driven business, and he gives you raw data, pure data to support that in Good to Great, then you'll really understand why you want a values-based business, a culture-driven business. You'll get that from Tony Hsieh, and a systems-driven business from Michael Gerber. Cool? Those are the 3 books today, and I'll give you more at another point. Yeah, Jennifer, great read. 4 Disciplines of Execution. I haven't heard that book. Let me back up, but I'm sure it's a great read. One I'll have to take a look at. Yeah, Jacob, passion attracts passion. Super important. Super important. If all you want to do is live for a paycheck, what a boring, mundane life. You're going to wake up 40 years from now with a gold watch and a pension and go, what the heck happened to my life? It's never going to be me. Never was me. Never will be me. It's just not who I am. Jim, welcome, Jim, sir. Cody Wilson, what organization systems do you use to keep track of upcoming birthday parties, changes in schedule, etc.? Rainmaker. We use the calendar in Rainmaker, and then we'll keep a hard copy as well. Absolutely. Titus, how about your training your instructors? How do you ensure they're teaching well? Stats. I trust and I track. I trust, Titus, that we write great systems. I trust that our training process is systematic and executed well. And then I study stats. I look at numbers. Look at the attrition rate in a certain class if it jumps up. Then you go analyze the class, who's teaching it, what time is it being taught, and you watch the whole delivery and execution through an audit. Yeah, auditing classes are super important. Yep. Does that make sense, Titus? And again, it's creating that culture, Titus, of people. Like one of the things K1 did for me today is he took one of my sayings. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. And that's a constant. That's one of our brand absolutes. So we're always bettering our instructors through training. They're always working towards their next degree. We're always better them through training to mandatory paid time that's scheduled into their weekly hours. And then our Facebook page is powerful. Our team page, always posting information, update. The more tools I can give them to be successful, the better. And I welcome their input. I think that's a big thing too. Then one of the people said, well, if I could, I would be able to do mat chats better if you had them out for the whole year. So that's going to be one of my goals, to put in a binder, create a Dropbox file so they can have and know what mat chats are coming in October, November, December, so that they're better prepared to deliver that life skills education mat chat that is a big part of what we do. Cool. Thank you, Don. Jay, recommended books, Live, Learn, Grow. Read my book, Live, Learn, Grow, Lessons of a Reluctant Tiger. It really helps you create that mindset of success that you deserve to achieve the level of success that you deserve. The One Thing, The One Thing's a great book because it really helps you as a small business owner to create that mindset of getting one thing done at a time. I'm guilty of that. I'll be doing multiple projects, and whatever I creatively feel inspired is the one I'll gravitate towards. But you'll really learn that inspiration comes from disciplined pursuit. So if I have one project and just stick through it, creativity will come out through that disciplined effort of constantly working at it. So when you do one thing and get it done. Disney's Be Our Guest. I heard about that book, Don. I'm going to definitely read that book. I'll write that down for my list. Oh, yeah, David, The Tao of Pooh and The Tay of Piglet. I've read them both. David, you're a man of my heart. Wow. I haven't seen that in a while. Maybe I have to go back and reread that. The Tao of Pooh and The Tay of Piglet. Great books. Both of them are great books, David. I love them. And because, the big thing I think you'll feel with me, and I shared this in the other Facebook Live the other night, is that we need to make sure that there is some kind of spiritual aspect in our business. I'm not talking religious, I'm talking spiritual. Because on those really bad days, and I shared that story really quickly, I'll touch upon it. We had a 3-year period where 2 of our top senior instructors died. And my son got really sick and went code blue. And he was, in the hospital for 5 days. He stopped breathing. That was a very challenging time for us. And if I didn't have some type of faith, some type of spirituality, that everything was going to be okay, I would have crumbled under that pressure. But needless to say, I didn't. So the 3 legs of the stool, mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. So I will read a book like The Tay of Pooh. I will read those books because they're very important for my spirituality. The 4 Agreements by Miguel Luis Ruiz, I believe. Things like that. I read Deepak Chopra. I've read the Dalai Lama. And of course, anything Christian-based. It's important to have some type of faith. You got to have faith because it's not always going to be wonderful. Life is going to be challenging. It is. And if you don't have the ability to weather those storms and keep plowing ahead, then you're really going to hurt your business in your life. Cool? Good, Jay. You bought Delivering Happiness from Audible? Yeah, it's a good one. Please, please, please. Yeah, the class audit makes sense, sir. It really does. And just popping in, Titus, and sitting there and watching a class and taking notes. And then, of course, be a sage on the side and reprimand in private. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes if it's just way out there, I'm on our headset and we're all wired, I'll hit that headset. Please pick up the 2 in the corner. They're beating the crap. No one sees that. Or look at little Johnny. No one's, in there. Or stop leaning against the wall. I want to do that so bad all the time. All the time. All the time. But you've got to be mindful. Trust your team and track them through stats. Thank you, K1. He's saying such a great book. I'm halfway through it now. Live, Learn, Grow. Yeah, pick that up, folks. Pick that up. Jacob, what are you currently working on to better yourself personally or professionally? That's a journey for me at 55 years old. Jacob, that's much different than it was when I was 35 or 40. I'm learning to be a better version of me through habit and action. That's every day I wake up, I'm grateful I get another day to live my best life. And when I step out there and I do different things, it's not always easy. I mean, negativity affects me as much as everybody else. I'm my own best friend and my own worst enemy. So that constant, it's a constant, sir. It's a constant. I read, I meditate, But it's a lot of practical application at 55. It truly is, because honestly, every book I read is a version of some other book I've read at this point. At 55 now, okay? This is 55. But the double-edged swords of that, Jacob, is to make sure as I do this introspective work of really understanding who I am at 55 and who I want to become and which direction I want to move in now, I have to really spend that time with myself. But be careful, because the more you go inward, sometimes your vision can get narrow. So I'm always like, open that up, open that mind, open the floodgates constantly. So a lot of reading, a lot of meditation is a big one for me. And I do that alone. It could be because to me, meditation is a constant. So when I drive to see my instructor an hour and a half, I can do that. If I'm sitting in Pete's working, which I do quite frequently, just to stop and take a breath and sit there. It's the quality of time, not the quantity. And I think we tend to miss that. I can have quality training sessions and in short bursts versus something long and lengthy. And that's it today, because I am in a different place. When I was younger, Jacob, I found myself at retreats. I found myself in so many different seminars and workshops. And it's not that I don't believe in them. It's just you are a work in progress, and spending that time working on yourself is really a huge thing. It's a huge thing. But we do need mentors. We do need guidance. And now my mentors are much different. My circle is actually smaller now than it was 10 to 15 years ago. Jay, so I'm 34 now. What would you have done differently if you could go back in time? Um, that's such a loaded question. It's such a loaded question, because technically I can't change anything in the past 55 years of my life. So I can just earnestly say, well, I wouldn't change anything, right? So I could easily say that. But if I had to pick something, Jay, it would be I would have started investing in the market at a much earlier age. I would have started saving money when I was much younger. That would have been a big one. That would have been a big one. If I had to pick other things, I wouldn't have hurt as many people as I hurt growing up recklessly. And it was mainly my relationships, with the women I was dating and seeing. It wasn't so much my business associates and stuff. I was just young and stupid guy. So those are two things I'd love to do differently. If my wife wasn't too much younger than me, I probably would have married her 20 years ago instead of 10. And that would have made a big difference. I mean, we're a good team and we do really well. Yeah. I agree with you, Dave. Everything you did then leads you to now. Every mistake I made, and you'll see it in the book. I got my butt in the wind. It's so transparent, my book. I share very intimate details and experiences and things that happened to me in my life, because I believe if I could be where I am today from where I came from, anybody can. And without revealing those parts of my life, I don't think people would have got that. So as you read the book, Live, Learn, and Grow, you'll see all those things. Super important. What's the next question in here? If I could recommend anything to the people that are on Jacob, um, I don't know if everybody's my age, but it doesn't seem that right? Jay So's 34. Is spend that alone time. You know, spend that alone time where you leave the cell phone in the car, where you go on walkabout, as they say in Australia. Spending that time alone introspectively is really important. There's so many distractions, right? So much distractions out there with the internet. They say every 8 seconds we pick up our cell phone. We're constantly engaged. To unplug from the matrix and really sit down with yourself and listen to your breath and journal and write about who you are, and where you are today and what that all means in moving forward is super important. But it's so convenient and so easy now with everything out there to be distracted. So spending that time eliminating the distractions, I think, is a big one for me today on my personal journey. And all my work, Jacob, all my work, the book, Live, Learn, Grow, my project, I just got my new kids' books, these Facebook Live videos. This right now is bettering myself personally and professionally. My work, my life is open. to the world now. And my growth, as well as my failures, is all chronicled here nightly with you. So this is a big part of who I am now. It's living all the stuff I've learned up to 55, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the failures, all the experiences. This is my development today. Yeah, I like that. Wow. Thank you, Jacob. I just learned something new about myself. Adam, what's up, Master Deluxe? Hey, sir, what is the thing you hate the most about owning your dojo? Me, cleaning it, spending all night cleaning my dojo, making all my students and instructors make sure it keeps things, it looks after night. You know, hate is such a strong word. Honestly, again, at 55, I don't hate anything about it. I know it's impossible. No, but do I have bad days? Yes, absolutely. But see, I look at my schools, they serve the community. I look at my schools, they offer opportunities and a great life for my team. And I look at it and it serves my family so well. How could I hate something like that, sir? I can't. Even last night at the end of the parents' night out, we're sitting there talking with a group of parents. And what am I doing? I'm wiping down the front desk while we're all talking. I love that we've been blessed with this. You know, the Millbrae School is a little different than San Francisco. My kids have built-in friends. You know, my wife's created a whole new network of friendships, and you know, it's different because we live in this community. So Millbrae has a different kinship than I have with San Francisco. San Francisco was like my single guy school, right, until I got married, and it was a different animal, and we grew it up differently, and it was much younger. You know, I started that at 38, so I thought differently, I behaved differently, but now, yeah, it's a different day. It's a different day. Jacob, I plan 1 week a year with my cell phone off. It is so mentally healthy for me. I wish I could do that more often. Well, don't wish. Schedule it in. Maybe it can't be a whole week, Jacob, but just make it an hour. You know, I'm getting more and more diligent about doing that, leaving my cell phone in the car. I did that today, you know, except I pulled it out to take a picture. But, you know, at the pool thing we're hanging out and talking and socializing was powerful. It's powerful. You know, you don't socialize when 8 people are sitting there staring into their cell phones. So maybe it doesn't have to be a whole week. Maybe it could be a dedicated hour a week, 2 hours a week, things of that nature, you know? But we got to unplug from these devices. Thich Nhat Hanh says it very well. You don't need a smartphone to tell you you're smart. You don't need a Fitbit to know that you're healthy. Get in tune with yourself. Get in tune with yourself, right? Be committed to learning. Be committed to your health. You don't need those things to tell you that. It's scary. Steven, let's see. Yeah, I know. Master Deluxe says he's got to scrub the bathroom floor. Well, fortunately, I can honestly say we have a janitorial service 7 days a week. So I only clean in between classes. I only clean when I'm there because I want to. I love to mentally take a broom once a week and sweep the school from front to back. I do that because it reminds me of my grandma. That's why. Janitor looks at me like I'm nuts, but some nights he's there when I'm doing this at the end of the night. He's like, that's my job. And he has very broken English. So he calls me bossing, which must be a term for boss. And he even, you know, once or twice try to take the broom from me. I said, no, it's cool. I like doing this. And I think he thinks I'm crazy. Most people would. David's asking me, how often do you do Parents' Night Out and Buddy Weeks? We do Parents' Night Out once a month at both locations. And you know what? For Halloween, we're going to do a Parents' Night Out Halloween and scrap the Halloween party. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It'll be really cool. Be very cool. And Buddy Weeks, we don't do Buddy Weeks, we do Buddy Days. And we do those at least one a quarter. It's either a family fun day or a buddy day. This month, our buddy day is going to be a hyperbully defense workshop. We got them at both locations. And that's coming up next week. So instead of a buddy day, we're doing our hyperbully defense. Cool. Orlando, what's up? Sean, good evening, Sean. Don, I've walked out the door a number of times forgetting my phone. Good for you, Don. You know, and I'm 55, folks. I remember when we had no cell phones. I remember you had a thing called a pay phone, and you stuck a quarter in it. Or back then was a dime. You got a dime for a phone call. Then we had pagers. That was a trip. You know, and then the first cell phone was like this freaking big. It looked like some army walkie-talkie. So, and I just, when there were no home PCs, no computers, no laptops. So I was able to live in that time. See, a lot of people today, they grew up with that. So they know no different, but I do. I do. So when I go for hikes, I go for walks, unplugging, that stuff's very important. Very important. Because all it does is separate you from yourself. And the more you're separated from yourself is why you doubt yourself, why you question yourself, why you believe every guru that comes along to fix you, cure you, make you better. Because it's been bred out of you. So next time you have a challenge, don't Google it. See, that's the problem today. I can just Google it. Oh, watch a YouTube video, DIY, and then I have the solution in front of me. But common sense is really what helps you in the process of being a successful small business owner, but succeeding in life. For succeeding in life, you need common sense. You really do, and it's just bred out of people. So challenge yourself to do that. Next time you want to just Google it. Next time you just want to use the GPS, put it down and say, tell me where you're located, right? Or print out instructions from MapQuest and try to follow a map. Something as simple as that will empower you in a way that most people today are not. I admit it. I got a GPS now. And the reason I love it is because I don't want to be bothered with that. My mind is creating other things, because that's what I do. I create stuff. You saw my new coloring sheets. That's a new project I got going on. We're rebranding One Merit Badges to Kids Love Life Skills. That's a new project. I just did a book. We just did the audio version of the book, which will be out in like the next couple of days. So those who've been waiting for my audio book, Live, Learn, Grow, it'll be out on audio. And I was able to sit there and record in a studio for 8 hours, something I'd never done before. I did an audio book. See, so that's who I am. I need to create. So that's part of my growth. Jacob, while I'm still on that subject, a big part of my growth is that. Stephen, let's see. I'm going on a honeymoon cruise in 4 weeks, looking forward to minimum cell phone usage. In the same breath, I love work, so I'm sure I'll miss it. You had better turn that phone off, Stephen. You had better stay away from that laptop, trust your team, completely be off the grid. You will not get this opportunity twice. You hear me, Stephen? As your elder, as someone who's 55, I'm going to tell you right now. When my wife and I, we did it right. We couldn't go on our honeymoon right away because we were just not that place in our school yet. So we actually stayed. We just went down to Carmel for a couple of days. But then after that, this was a couple months later, we went to Hawaii. And we were not sitting on our cell phone at all. We were not sitting at our laptops at all, sir. Don't do that, Stephen. Everybody make Stephen promise us right now. Right now. We'll all survive, Stephen. Believe me. We'll all be okay there, buddy. We'll all be fine while you're gone. So I want to challenge you, Stephen. Make that pledge right now. Because believe me, I don't think your wife's going to be happy with minimum cell phone usage. She'll be very happy with no cell phone usage. Other than a picture, don't Facebook, don't Snapchat, don't Instagram. Challenge yourself. And it'll be a good test for your team. If your team can handle it while you're away, then you're rocking it, Stephen. You're rocking it. If they can't, then you know all the holes you need to fill. You know all the systems you need to start writing. What a win-win. Great way to start off your marriage and a great way to test your team and find out their strengths and weaknesses. Who agrees with me? Taekwon So. I like that. That's kind of funny. Don O'Neill, I had one of those myself. K1, how did you survive without any of that technology? I have my wife with me, right? I have this beautiful woman with me in Hawaii. What do you mean, how do you survive? It's easy. That's a great distraction. Stephen, I remember my first beeper. Yeah, we all do. I remember MapQuest, had to print out the step-by-step, wow, how far we've come. But I love that idea of going back and re-experience the original way of things. It is. One of the stories in my book is a big piece of cardboard. Have you read that story yet, K1? The big piece of cardboard? The one when my dad and I changed brakes, and he had never changed brakes in his life. Okay, Steven saying, ha ha ha, you got it. Somebody do a screenshot of that and send that over to his fiance. Ha ha ha, you got it. Okay. Greg, good evening, Greg from Canada. I look forward to seeing Greg and his team out at It's Time Live Encore in November. They're coming out. I'm very grateful for that. Don O'Neill will be out here in November as well. For all the new people aboard, I didn't mention that, so I might as well. It's Time Live Encore is my event that I hold in San Francisco twice a year. This is our last one. It's a great way to get you started for the next year, getting your head in the game. You can stay for one day, November 12th, Sunday. You can stay for 2 days, the 11th and 12th, or like Greg did, 4 days. 4 days. Don will be here for 4 days. I'll make your brain bleed. You'll go back a different person, I promise. You think an hour with me here at Facebook Live is something? Try hanging out with me for 4 days. Yeah, a lot of it's done in nature too. It's pretty cool. Chaso. Oh. Taekwondo. I dig it. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so in a big piece of cardboard, long story short, my dad says to me, we're going to go change the brakes. And I'm going, this guy's never changed brakes in his life. What the heck is this about? So he grabs, it's so weird. He grabs a big piece of cardboard. He grabs some tape and a felt tip marker. And we walk out and he jacks up both sides of the car, right? Because we couldn't afford to take the car in to get the brakes done. Takes off the 2 front tires, lays down this big piece of cardboard, and methodically starts disassembling this brake on the left side, taping it down and numbering this freaking thing. And when he's done, it looks like a brake assembly taped to the piece of cardboard. Then he changes the brake shoes, puts new ones on, and then methodically works backwards. And while he's doing this, he's going around to the other tire and referencing the right assembled brake. So he had his little, taped down creation with like his map, all the pieces numbered. Then on the other side, he had a fully assembled brake to reference. And then he put this thing together. And I was just a kid. I didn't get it. But as an adult, what a genius. Tell me that's not genius. He had no map. He had no Google. He couldn't watch a DIY video. He had no YouTube. But what he had was common sense. Common sense that if somebody puts this together, it must be taken apart. And if he can take it apart, I can take it apart. But how am I going to take it apart to put it back successfully? Well, I have a brake on this side to reference. It's fully assembled, and I'll methodically take this thing apart and number it and take the pieces down so it looks like a brake. How cool is that, right? Good evening, Tom. Welcome. Charles, I even took a walk today to do just what you said, to disconnect with technology and think about my week ahead. It is. And being mindful of your breath. Dalai Lama says this. Thich Nhat Hanh will say it. Be mindful of your breath. Much like in yoga or any Eastern art, the breath connects the mind and the body. And when the mind and the body are working in sync and it's governed by the heart, you're a balanced human being. You take right actions. You make right choices. It's only when one of the three aren't working that you're messed up. Cool? So yeah, taking those types of walks and unplugging from all the craziness is really important. Greg, I am wanting to improve the black belt testing process. What do you use as testing criteria? Well, that starts as a white belt, sir. See, the big mindset is most people will never make it to black belt. So don't worry about it till they're that far. I beg to differ. I think everything we do in the curriculum from white belt through black is very important. So the first thing I'd encourage you to do, Greg, and Roland will say this, it's like Back to the Future, reverse engineering. Roland Osborne will say, start with black belt and work all the way back to white belt in designing your curriculum. What kind of athleticism, what kind of self-defense, what type of life skills, what type of character, who are they going to be physically, all those things. And then work back and design curriculum, sir. That would be the first thing I'd recommend. Now then, as far as the black belt testing process, once you get to be a brown black belt in our school, then we have 3 months of pre-testing. We call it black belt prep. So we're going over everything to prepare you. And if at the end of those 3 months you're not ready, right now you go to another 3-month cycle. And if you're not ready at 6 months, then you go to another 3-month cycle. We want to make sure you're ready. And I'm actually reevaluating that testing process now because last test we had a couple weeks back in August was awesome. Really awesome. One of the girls who failed in April came back amazing when she tested this time. Now remember, we don't water down our curriculum. We have kids testing 11, 12 years old for black belt. They do the same amount of requirements as the adult, break the same amount of boards, write the same 500-word essay, do the same 5-hour test. So it's grueling. It's grueling. Back in April, half the people failed. And I was not happy with that. There was a huge disconnect there. So I'm actually still reviewing our black belt testing process, thinking of stretching out the black belt prep for 1 year And every time they get through, like maybe the first year curriculum, there'll be a belt. They get through the second year curriculum, there'll be another belt. Third year curriculum, another belt. And fourth year. So at the end of 1 year, they would have gone through 3 more belts before they test for black belt. But there will be black belt prep belts. Now, it's not a monetary thing. I don't charge for belt testing. So to do this would be simply to better that experience, better prepare them, and to produce better martial artists. So one thing I love about eliminating belt testing fees. Took them out of the mix. They have nothing to do, with any of my decision process. Let's add 1 more belt so we can make more revenue. Yeah, let's cut the belt testing process to every 8 weeks. Yeah, then we can make more revenue. That's never been my motivation. Anytime, because my instructor questioned me. I grew up with 5 belts like jiu-jitsu. White, blue, green, purple, brown, black. Because white, blue, green, purple, brown, black. 5 belts, not including white belt. And it's just too long to wait. 2 to 3 years between a belt. You can't do that in today's culture. So now we have 6 stripes every 3 months, a belt testing every 4th month. So at that 4 years, you have 12 belts and you test off a black. So my instructor said to me, you have all these belts and stripes and life skills badges and, I don't get it. I said, well, then just maybe you're asking me the wrong question. So what I would like you to do is ask yourself this question. Are you happy with the quality of our black belts? You say, oh, absolutely. They're great people. They're great fighters. They're great martial artists, physically, everything. So then there you go. Who cares how I get to the top of the mountain as long as I get him there? And he agreed. He agreed. So that's what I really want you to focus on more. Greg, is the why in that process. Okay? K1, I love that. Even today as adults, that is genius and the power of the human mind. Sadly, so many people jump to YouTube videos to learn to do breaks or something similar today. It proves how powerful our minds can be and how we have advanced so much as humanity. I think, well, see, that's the 2 sides of it. The more we advance as humanity, the more we get dumbed down. They're dumbing us down to leave you in a slumber. So the important things that go by, you're not even paying attention to. Unplug from the matrix like Keanu Reeves did. And you're going to see a whole different picture. And I don't mean that to be some paranoid, schizophrenic person. I'm telling you straight up, there's a lot of stuff that isn't what it should be. And by unplugging and taking a step back, even in our own lives and our own business, allows the opportunity to get a whole different perspective, right? What do? We post it at Facebook. Everybody validate me. Tell me I'm wonderful. Tell me I'm okay. You know what? I need to be okay with me. I need to tell myself I'm okay. I need to stand in that mirror when I'm afraid or sad or upset and go, you know what? You're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. Because that's who I need to hear it from the most, right? So if you got that task, Adam, you got to scrub those floors later, tell yourself, put a smile on your face, Adam, and say, you know what? I'm going to be okay. Because I'm the one that has to be okay. And if I'm not, and I need you to tell me I'm okay, I'm screwed if you're not around. You feel me? If I'm not okay with me and I don't have a device, whatever's out there, alcohol, those things, I don't do any of those things. None of them. Then I'm in a bad shape. So it's very important that I spend that time working on me introspectively. And it starts with that, unplugging, unplug completely. Yeah. Hey, Michael, welcome, sir. Don is saying the more we advance in technology, the less people use their mind. Yeah, because it's set up that way, right? It's set up that way. A Fitbit, oh my God. It's crazy. It's crazy. Adam, ever have people quit because they were not ready? Have one kid been with me 6 years, missed most of the summer, was going to test on October 8th, but I have to tell the parents he is not ready, probably going to quit. But I taught all summer, Sunday through Friday, he was the one who did not show up. That's a choice, sir. That's a choice. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If this guy's going to quit as he's coming up on black belt, then, you got to go back and see where you failed him, if at all, and then also let him be accountable too. And let his parents know that. Pre-frame it properly, sir. Hey, your son's made it this far. He's an amazing person. It's really important. It'll look great on his college transcripts that he's a black belt, but only you can make this call. He's not ready for belt testing. But here is what I would like to do to get him ready for the next test. If you just simply leave him with that yucky answer, he's not ready for belt testing, right? And I blame it because he wasn't here all summer. I say, well, I understand summers are busy, you're on vacation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now he's back. He's not ready for belt testing. I don't want him to fail. But here's the plan of action I have prepared to get him ready for the next one. You feel me? So again, it's not a negative if you use it to your advantage. Paul, Uriel, Jessica, Sergio. Okay, folks, we're coming up a little bit over an hour. I want to cut this off, keep it at about an hour. Very important. I want to be disciplined because I can hang with you folks all night. Kids are asleep, they're in bed. I can do this every night with you. If I know it's going to help you better your business in every shape, way, and form. Cool? So let's start getting into our takeaways for tonight. What are your takeaways? The people who've been here for the past hour. What are our takeaways? What are our big takeaways? Come on. While I'm waiting for takeaways. Okay, Adam, let me finish Adam's question. Adam's saying this is the second time he was on vacations all summer. Well, there's a pattern there, sir. It's summertime. His parents would take him on vacations all summer. What a lucky kid. Sir, I mean, why would you be bummed about that? You expect him to be at your dojo all summer long? You know, it's summer. I got kids. That's our time. I take 3 months off during the summer for the most part. I'm off. Summers are important, especially when you have kids and they're in school year round. Summers are all you get. So we're going to squander that because we only got our kids for what, 18 years and they're out the door. So Adam, I wouldn't be bummed about that. No way. No way, no way. David, always be involved in all aspects of your business. Absolutely, but that can be at a distance, David. Like I said, trust and track leadership. If you want to take a great workshop, Nick Cirillo wrote a great book called A Slice of the Pie. Okay? Now, he owns pizza stores, 2 of them. Each one can hold up to 300 people, his pizza restaurants, right? And the turnover rate in that industry is 200%. His turnover rate is 20%. Powerful, right? 20%. So I was coming back from Germany through via New York, and I stopped in Chicago for a couple of days. And I took his trust and track leadership with Rudy Mick, another brilliant thinker. Rudy Mick taught me a lot, about understanding the why and purpose and branding and values. Amazing stuff. He definitely planted those seeds for me. And I think it's a brilliant thing. Learn to trust and track. It's the biggest thing you could possibly do. So Steve Jobs was the one who resurrected Apple, right? So you want to be involved in all aspects of your business, but you can do that without having to be there 24/7, being big brother, the eye in the sky, controlling people and looking over their shoulder. It's a whole different way to manage, but you can be involved and not do that. K1. Okay. Takeaways. If it's meant to be, it will happen. Yeah, but please be mindful of the balance of that. I know people would like to believe, it's all within my destiny. I make it all happen. Me, 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 ego, ego. Yeah, life has a way of humbling us, It really, really does. And when my son went code blue and he couldn't breathe, there was no destiny there. I was not in control of jack. As I'm standing there and we're watching our son, stop breathing, I wasn't in control of nothing. When he's in that hospital and they've got him fully under, so they could monitor him and control all the medication and stuff. I had no say in that. So as much as our ego wants to believe, I did all this, I made all this happen. Keep singing that song because life has a way of humbling all of us when we act that way, right? So yeah, there's a certain amount, K1, if it's meant to be, it will happen. But it's more likely to happen if you work at it. Cool? So add into that, K1. If it's meant to be, it will happen. But it's more likely to happen if you work at it. Okay? Write that one down and use it. Trust and then track. Good. Spend time alone and unplug. Please spend. And time alone doesn't mean watching a movie. Time alone doesn't mean sitting there texting or sitting at Pete's Coffee, writing a system on your computer. Time alone means putting yourself in those positions where you got to hear yourself. Listen to that. When you got to hear yourself. When's the last time you really heard yourself? Not talking, where you actually listened to that inner voice. When you listen to it clearly, when's the last time you did that? Yeah, that's an art, K1. Jacob, find time for yourself, unplug and meditate, because you are your best asset. You are your best resource. You're no good to anybody else unless you're good to yourself. Please schedule that in on your little Google Calendar there and make sure you do that every week. Alexandru, Adam, okay. Adam's going to add some more to this. No, I tried to do one-on-ones for free just to get him ready. Just I hate to see the kid quit. He is homeschooled, tried to do during the winter last year when he was not ready. But I agree, I can't test for him and not testing unless ready. Yeah, because those are your values, Adam. Those are your values. And if he's not going to meet you halfway, he's not going to take you up on free privates or any of that, then so be it. That's his cross to bear. He will learn his lesson when he's supposed to. Maybe he won't learn it with you, but he'll learn it in other environments. You know, that video I posted, that TED video, that it's not how smart you are, how many degrees you are, how white you are, how much money you have, none of it. The true measure of success are the people with the grit, the people who don't give up, who work the hardest. I agree with that because it's in line with my values. All right, so what are your other takeaways tonight, folks? And as we wrap this up, please, for the new people, if you haven't picked up my book, Live, Learn, Grow, Lessons of a Reluctant Tiger, please go to Amazon.com, pick it up, read it. The audio version will be out in the next couple of days if you prefer that. It will be available at Audible and iTunes. Live, Learn, Grow, Lessons of a Reluctant Tiger. Everybody should pick up my kids' book, The Adventures of Bray and Tay. The first book is on focus. Give it to kids at parties. Keep it in your pro shop. It perpetuates the values of life skills, why people come to us first and foremost before soccer, tennis, swimming, or anything else. And then lastly, while you're typing in those takeaways, join me in November. You can stay for one day, Sunday, November 12th. You can come for the 11th and 12th, or you can stay for 4 days, the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. And lastly, I just got a call on this. I'm actually going to reintroduce my kickboxing certification. I did it back in the day when Taibo was big. We've had a program for 18 years in San Francisco, and there's nothing to laugh at that, right? A sustainable kickboxing program for 18 years. Why? We always bettered it. We evolved it. We added weights. We added bands. We got rid of them. But now we're at where we should be for where it is today. So we've got a great format. I certified a bunch of people back in April. I know I'm going to fly out to Virginia to encourage martial arts and do kickboxing for his team out there. So if anybody in the Virginia area would like me to come out and do the same thing at your school, that's a possibility, but look for that in the future as well. I think it's time to get aboard and do some of these kickboxing certifications to give you the real tools. And it's not just about the technique. It's not just the music. It's not cueing and counting. It's also about building the culture. It's also about developing the brand, growing the tribe. There's two elements to that kickboxing, and both need to be addressed effectively in order to compete. We're right below 24-hour fitness. How do we have a thriving kickboxing program? Because it's culture-based. We do something they can't, and we do it really, really well. Cool? So look for that as well. Okay, let's see. David, to go off, to spend time with yourself. Keep a mirror in your office and look into it one day, because what you see in the mirror is what others see daily. You know what that reminds me of, David? Remember the Saturday Night Live guy, Stuart Smalley? He'd look in the mirror and go, I'm good enough. I'm da-da-da, and gosh darn it, people like me. As much as people laughed about that, there is a certain amount of power in that. And I try to do that at least once a day when I'm in the bathroom. I get very close to the mirror and I look at my eyes deeply. And who am I today? Who do I want to be? And am I going to be my own best friend? Am I going to be my own worst enemy? Every day. And that's super important to your success and your failure. And not most importantly, for your sanity and the quality of life, right? The quality of life. Very important. Thank you, K1. Thank you for doing that, sir. So there's the links for all the different things I just talked about. My book, my kids' book, the event coming up in November. All right, we good? We good? If we're good, everybody give me lots of hearts. Lots of hearts. I love the heart thing. I don't get the rest of the emoji world. I watched that emoji movie with my kids, and I didn't get it. I don't get the whole emoji-ness. I'm a writer. I'd rather write you some cool words and talk to you instead of giving you some jacked up face I can't even recognize anymore. But hearts I get. Oh, there you go. All right. So I want to thank Rainmaker, Scott, Devin, Jeff, Brittany, everybody over there at Rainmaker. Good people. Great product. Thank you for allowing me a voice. And they never censor me. They never tell me what to do. And that's really powerful. I couldn't work with any sponsors that are going to tell me what to do. Oh, I wouldn't have a sponsor. I would continue to do what I do. But they are critical figures. They push that envelope. I just want to thank Jacob for being here tonight. Hyper, if you're not using Hyper, I don't know what to tell you. They have so many great programs and products. I love my Hyper Fight Club. I love the Hyper Bully Defense. If you're not doing a Hyper Bully Defenses one, again, you're missing that boat. Really great stuff. I was just reviewing it for our Hyper workshop next week, and I forgot just how amazing and how great the Hyper Bully Defense is. So make sure you're doing that as well. And I don't have to do this, but Steven, buddy, Steven Reinstein, Market Muscle, man. Check out his websites. Innovative, off the hook, pretty cool stuff. All right? All right? And they don't even sponsor me. They're just amazing people. And we are a collective. We are a tribe of critical thinkers, thought leaders. Who are you? The architect of your business. Be that each and every day, and I promise you, there's no way you're going to fail. All right? I hope to see you in November. Until we talk again, go to brannonbeliso.com for all my services. And until we talk again, go out there and live your best life.